Last month, a man opened his electric bill. He looked at the number. His hands started shaking. The bill was 4 times higher than normal. 4 times. He called his wife. They stared at the paper together. She asked, "How is this possible?" He had no answer. That night, they turned off the heater, even though it was freezing outside. They couldn't afford it anymore. This isn't happening in some faraway place. This is happening everywhere. Maybe it's happening to you too. You go to the grocery store. You pick up the same things you always buy. Bread, milk, eggs. But when you reach the counter, the price is higher. Much higher. You think maybe you made a mistake, but no. Everything costs more now. And every week, it gets worse. You check your bank account. The number should be going up. You're working hard, you're saving. But somehow, the number stays the same. Or worse, it goes down. And you don't understand why. Something is wrong. You can feel it. But nobody's telling you what's really happening. Let me tell you the truth. Right now, there's a war going on. But it's not the kind of war you see in movies. There are no soldiers knocking on your door. No bombs falling from the sky. This war is different. It's quiet. It's hidden, and it's stealing your money every single day. The weapons in this war? Oil, gas, ships, factories, and the money in your pocket. Most people think this is just bad luck. They think things will get better soon. Next month, next year. Just wait, they say. They're wrong. What's happening right now is not temporary. This is permanent. The world is breaking into 2 pieces, and you're stuck in the middle. If you don't understand what's happening, you're going to lose everything. Not all at once, but slowly. So slowly you won't even notice until it's too late. Stay with me for the next 15 minutes. I'm going to explain exactly what's happening. I'm going to show you the 4 things that are destroying your money right now. And I promise, when we're done, you'll finally understand why life suddenly got so expensive. Let me take you back. Back to when things were simple. For 30 years, the world worked like a team. Every country did what they were good at. America made computers. China made phones. Russia sold oil and gas. Everyone bought from everyone. Everyone sold to everyone. It was easy. It was cheap. Life was good. You could buy a TV for cheap. You could buy clothes for cheap. You could fill your car with gas and it didn't hurt your wallet. Everything was affordable because every country was working together. It was like a big machine. And that machine was running perfectly. Then, something happened. February 2022. A war started in Europe. Tanks crossed borders. And suddenly, everything changed. The team broke up. Countries stopped working together. They started fighting. They stopped selling to each other. They stopped buying from each other. The politicians on TV called it a small problem, a regional conflict. The rich people, the billionaires, they knew better. They knew this was big. Really big. They knew the old world was over. A new world was starting, and in this new world, everything would be more expensive. But here's what nobody explains. Why does your life get harder when 2 countries fight far away from you? Why does your grocery bill double when politicians argue on the other side of the world? What's the connection? Let me show you something simple. Think about bread. Just normal bread. To make bread, you need wheat. To grow wheat, farmers need fertilizer. That fertilizer is made from gas. To cut the wheat, you need machines. Those machines need diesel. To bring wheat to the bakery, you need trucks. Trucks need gas. To bake the bread, you need ovens. Ovens need electricity. And electricity, it comes from gas or oil. Now, what happens when gas suddenly costs 3 times more? The farmer pays more for fertilizer, so he charges more for wheat. The truck driver pays more for diesel, so he charges more to deliver. The bakery pays more for electricity, so they charge more for bread. And you? You pay more at the store, much more. This is why everything in your life is getting expensive. Because energy, the oil and gas that runs everything, is now in a war. And in a war, prices go up. Let me tell you what happened in Europe. It's important because it affects you too, even if you don't live there. For many years, Europe bought cheap gas from Russia. Factories ran on this gas. Homes heated with this gas. It was cheap. Really cheap. Everyone was happy. Then the war started. Russia turned off the gas. Who's like that? Europe panicked. They needed gas. Fast. So they started buying gas from America, from the Middle East, from anywhere they could find. But this gas cost 3 times more, sometimes 10 times more. And when Europe started buying all this expensive gas, there was less gas left for everyone else. So the price went up everywhere. In America, in Asia, everywhere. You might think, I don't care about Europe, but you should. Because when gas gets expensive in one place, it gets expensive everywhere. The whole world is connected like a chain. When one link breaks, the whole chain shakes. And here's the worst part. Your government is printing money to help people pay these high bills. They're giving money to companies. They're giving money to families. Sounds good, right? But there's a problem. When governments print money, your savings become worth less. The cash in your bank, it's losing value every single day. You're getting hurt twice. Once when you buy things, and once when your savings shrink. This is the first weapon. The energy weapon. And it's draining your wallet right now. Now let me tell you about the second weapon. This one will hurt you for many years. Remember when you could buy a phone for $300? Or a computer for $500? Those days are gone. Forever. Why were things so cheap before? Because companies only cared about one thing. Where can we make this for the cheapest price? And the answer was always China. China had cheap workers, cheap factories, cheap materials, so everything was made there. Your phone, your laptop, your television, your clothes, everything. And because it was cheap to make, it was cheap to buy. But now, everything is changing. Countries are scared. They're looking at each other and thinking, what if we become enemies tomorrow? What if China stops selling us things? What if we can't get medicines? What if we can't get computer parts? What if we can't even get parts for our own military? So they decided to move the factories, bring them back home, build them. In America, build them in Mexico. Build them in friendly countries. It sounds good, right? It sounds safe. But there's a problem. A big problem. Building a factory in America costs 10 times more than in China. Paying American workers costs 5 times more. The environmental rules are stricter. Everything takes longer. Everything costs more. So, who pays for this? You do. When companies spend more money to make things, they charge you more money to buy things. Your phone that used to cost $300 will now cost $600. Your laptop will cost double. Your TV will cost more. Everything will cost more, and it's never going back down. This is what I call the invisible tax. You can't see it written on the price tag, but you're paying it every single time you buy something. The age of cheap stuff is over. Dead. Gone. And this creates a trap. Prices stay high. Workers demand higher wages because life is expensive. Companies raise prices again to pay those wages. It's a spiral, around and around, getting worse and worse. But it gets worse, much worse. Because this isn't just about buying things. This is about your job, your paycheck, your future. If your company sells things to China, they're in trouble. If your company buys parts from Asia, they're in trouble. Right now, thousands of people are losing their jobs. Tech companies are firing people. Factories are closing. Shipping companies are cutting staff. Why? Because the old system is dying. The world is splitting in two, and if your job is on the wrong side of that split, you're in danger. Maybe you're thinking, I have savings. I have investments. I'm safe. Let me tell you something that will scare you. The war has reached your savings too. Think about your retirement money, the money you're saving so you can stop working when you're old. Most people think like this. The stock market always goes up. Just keep putting money in. I'll be rich when I'm old. But that thinking is based on the old world. The world of peace. The world where countries worked together. That world is gone. In this new world, countries are building walls. They're fighting. They're not trading like before. And when countries don't trade, companies make less money. When companies make less money, their stock prices don't go up as fast. If the world economy slows down by just 1% because of these fights, you might think, that's nothing, just 1%. But over 20 years, that's millions of dollars disappearing. That's the difference between you relaxing on a beach at age 60 or working at a store at age 7. That's the difference between a comfortable life and a struggling life. And the rich people know this. The billionaires, the hedge funds. They're moving their money. They're not investing in the same things anymore. They're pulling money out of risky areas. They're buying gold. They're buying metals like copper and lithium. They're investing in weapons companies. In defense. Why? Because in a world at war, you don't need another app on your phone. You don't need another social media platform. You need missiles. You need batteries. You need raw materials. You need real things. Physical things. The economy is shifting from nice to have to must-have. If your money's invested in companies that only work in a peaceful world, you're sitting on a bomb, and one day, it's going to explode. China is building its own economy with Russia, with Brazil, with India, with Africa. They're creating their own trading bloc, their own system. If you're only looking at the West, you're missing half the picture. But everything I've told you so far, it's nothing compared to the last weapon. This is the big one, the one that could destroy everything overnight. Let's talk about the dollar, the American dollar, your money. For 80 years, the dollar was the king of all money. It was the reserve currency. Every country wanted dollars. Every country needed dollars. This made America very powerful. It meant Americans could borrow money it meant interest rates stayed low. It meant the government could spend more than it earned. Life was comfortable. But recently America did something that scared everyone. When the war started, America didn't just send weapons to help their friends. They did something else. Something bigger. They weaponized the dollar. They froze Russia's money. Billions and billions of dollars. Just took it. Locked it. Russia couldn't touch it. They also kicked Russia out of the global banking system. Russia couldn't use dollars anymore. Couldn't trade using dollars. It hurt Russia badly. But it also sent a message to every other country in the world. China looked at this. Saudi Arabia looked at this. Brazil looked at this. India looked at this. And they all thought the same thing. If we make America angry, if we disagree with them, they can take our money too. They can freeze our accounts. They can kick us out of the system. So these countries started making a backup plan. They started buying gold. Lots and lots of gold. More gold than ever before. Central banks around the world are stacking gold bars. They're also starting to trade with each other using their own money instead of dollars. Chinese yuan, Indian rupees, Brazilian real, they're building a new system. A system that doesn't need the American dollar. Now, the dollar won't disappear tomorrow. It won't collapse next week. But its power is cracking, like a wall with cracks spreading through it. Small cracks at first, but cracks that are growing. And one day, that wall might fall. And when the dollar loses its power, everything changes for you. Interest rates will have to stay high forever to attract money. That means your mortgage stays expensive, your car loan stays expensive, your credit card debt becomes impossible to pay off. The days of cheap money are over. We're entering a world of hard money. Expensive money. And if you're not prepared, if you're not ready, you're going to drown in debt. The governments are fighting for control. The big countries are repositioning. And when elephants fight, it's the grass that gets trampled. You're the grass. Your family is the grass. We are all the grass.